All right, everyone, welcome back. This is session 2 of day 1 here, HR Tech North America. This one is titled HR Tools to Build Trust and Keep Remote Teams Engaged. Before we hop right in, just a quick reminder that if you have any technical issues, pop your questions in the Q&A widget and I will help you sort your issue as quickly as possible and as best as I can. Submit your questions for the speaker in there as well. I will try to get that answered during the Q&A, time permitting, of course. And check out the resource box on this session. There's a tech demo that we did with Tango Card just recently, and it's pretty cool. We took a look at the technology of their platform and some of the benefits that it offers. So it's only about a 10-minute video. It's definitely worth a quick watch when you get a chance. Okay, so with that said, we're joined today by Rebecca Hathaway. She is the Director of Employee Experience at Tango Card. Welcome, Rebecca, or welcome back, I should say. We've had you before, so take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Great to be here. So yeah, as David said, we're going to talk about HR tools to help build trust, keep remote teams engaged, especially as we're continuing in a lot of virtual space. Quick disclaimer, I am not part of any of these companies other than Tango Card. So we're going to talk about a few, but I am not a representative of any of them. So let's kick it off with a poll question. In this space, how many people do you think said that they would look for a new job if their current company doesn't continue to offer permanent remote work options? We've been seeing a lot of survey data, so tell us what you think. We're going to give it a quick couple seconds here to see what that answer looks like. Awesome. So clearly, a lot of you read the survey. It is 58%. 58% of employees said they would leave. So that's a huge amount of people that would leave if they can't continue to work remote in their current role or have some level of flex. And so this means that we as HR professionals need to look at what the future of work looks like and start to cater to that, start to retain that talent by looking at what we are doing, how we engage. And really one of the things that we can do is lean into some of the tools and some of the aspects that we're already using and heavily using them to keep people at our organizations and allow them to have that flexibility of remote space. One of the things that we did at Tango Card was implement what we're calling our Choice First program. A lot of what our brand is built upon is choice. If you've used our product before, you know that you typically have a digital gift card with a catalog that you get to choose from. And so we're pulling that out to our employees and saying, you know what? You make this choice for yourself. Make the choice that's right for you. Employees are adults, and we believe that if you treat them as such, they're going to make the choices that do the best work for them and for the company as a result. So people get to choose if their primary desk will be at home or in the office. And of course, a lot of folks are going the hybrid model. We actually did a poll of our employees, and the early results of this program, of course, we are still remote at the moment, but when we open our offices again for safety in a couple of weeks, we've allowed people to say, what are you looking for? And we've hired 65 people remotely, including our chief people officer. That's a little over 60% of our employee population. And 84% of employees said that they want to continue working from home in a fully remote capacity as their choice, with about 16% saying they want to be in office with the opportunity to flex and be remote if possible. And that is our whole workforce. We have a very small number of people who do need to be in the office for their role, and they're actually not part of this data. We did not include them here. This is just the opportunity for people who can do their jobs remotely, which again, for us, I think is like 97% of our employee population can be remote. So it's a great opportunity. So before we start talking about engagement, some of the tools that we use, quick question for you guys. Does your company currently use incentives as part of its employee engagement program or ideas for employee engagement? You know, what are you guys, do you currently use something like that? Oh, nobody wants to answer this question. All right. That's okay. We'll keep going. There's a lot to cover. So one of the tools that we use is our own product, right? Of course, I know I'm here, but I am in the HR employee experience department. I'm not a salesperson. But we do use our reward link as an option for people to stay engaged. We've shifted the way we use this in a remote space. One of the things that we've noticed is when we're doing interviews, we always used to take people to lunch. It was a really great experience. So instead of doing that, we send them a digital reward link, which is essentially a gift card. And you get to choose where you want to get lunch from that day. Your lunch is on us because we would typically give that for you. Gives the candidates a way to relax and take a step back during their interview process. We give them that 30 minutes to grab lunch, but it's one less thing they have to worry about. It's a great opportunity. We also use it as welcome gifts for our new hires to not only see our product, but to say, welcome, we're excited that you're here. Work anniversaries and birthdays, we have it linked to our HR system, so it automatically pulls those. And we do spot bonus and peer-to-peer recognition with this incentive program. So that's a huge part of one of the things that we do as a company. Again, because it's our own product, but it's a really great opportunity because there's no subscription fees. There's no cost in that regard. So you're paying the face value, just like when you send, your office assistant to go buy a whole bunch of gift cards at Walgreens. You're paying for her time and the gift card. This is exactly the same as that, only you don't have to have that scary drawer full of gift cards that we've all seen. So getting into other tools. So these, again, not related to Tango Card at all, aside from that we use them. But we use our HRIS, which is Namely, and to get peer-to-peer engagement up. Namely, like similar HR platforms, has a news feed now, and we've encouraged people to use it more in this remote space. It allows people to see new employees that have joined recently, recent arrivals, people that might be out of the office, people that have a work anniversary coming up, and really encouraging people to get in there and use that news feed to, say a quick thank you or announce an update, celebrate wins. And thank yous. And it gets people in your HR system, which as HR professionals, I know is also very helpful. People aren't always in there and you'd like them to be. So giving them a way to be social and to do more with the system will get people in there for the things that you need them to do, like requesting PTO. But it's a great way. I would encourage you, if you have an HR system that has an option like this, if you're not already using it, encourage folks to use it. Encourage people to use the social aspect of the HR platform that you're likely already paying for. We also use Slack. Obviously, most people have some sort of chat app, whether that's Microsoft Teams, whether that's Slack or something else. We tend to focus on business groups, but really important for peer-to-peer recognition and engagement, something that we've really heavily leaned into. We have a kudos channel that very similar to that news feed in Namely, where we've allowed people to say thank you, to give a shout out to their coworkers. We have actually attached an incentive to this with our reward link, which we'll talk about in a second, but really using Slack for more than just the day-to-day business, right? It doesn't necessarily need to be just your teams talking about work. Create channels for employee resource groups if you have them. Create channels that are just for fun. We have a cute animals channel because we used to be a dog-friendly office, and it's literally just pictures of people's pets all day, every day. It's fantastic. We have them for hobbies. If you have hobbyists in your company, give them an outlet to connect with coworkers in a meaningful way that's not work-related. It's going to keep people engaged. It's going to give people the opportunity to take a break in their day and connect with their coworkers. It's really fantastic, and really leaning into that with a tool that you already use can be really beneficial to having your employees feel like they're not so isolated in a remote space. One of the things that we've done with our tools is what we call RG Integrate, and we have added our rewards and incentive program into all of these systems. This is something that if you're interested in, you can reach out to us for a demo. But one of the things that we've done is said, hey, that kudos channel in Slack, if you send somebody a thank you, it's going to send them a $10 gift card. No questions asked, no no difficulty, no work on the employee's part. It goes straight to them and it's immediate. It's a great way to keep people really engaged with each other and make somebody else's day. It's not just about saying the thank you, but now somebody has the opportunity to go buy themselves a cup of coffee or treat themselves to something nice because they went above and beyond for someone. We also have it in Namely, where it pulls work anniversaries. We wrote, some script, and on your work anniversary at 7 a.m., you get a $50 gift card. I don't have to do anything as HR. Manager doesn't have to do anything. It's automatic, and it goes straight to the employee with a personalized message. Super cool way to keep folks engaged without having to do too much work, too much overhead, or be too concerned with, did this person get the right thing? Did they get too much? Did they get too little? Did their manager forget? Takes the onus off of the manager and HR to be able to really give something in real time and make a meaningful difference in an employee's day. Other tools that we use internally, we use a donut, or a donut is an app for Slack. I don't know if anybody uses this. It is a tool that recreates office water cooler conversations, gives you a prompt every couple of days. It's part of a Slack channel, and it allows employees to just have nice, fun conversations. I think yesterday it was, would you rather be able to communicate telepathically or be able to speak every language on the planet? Super interesting question. It involved a lot of conversation, and it went on all day. And so it also increases, people's ability to learn more about their coworkers that they wouldn't normally interact with. We're a smallish company. We got about 190 employees now, and not everybody knows everyone. So it allows you the opportunity to engage in a conversation with a person that you may never actually interact with for work purposes. The second thing that Donut does is creates an opportunity for people to be introduced and actually sets you up with a 30-minute virtual coffee meeting based on your calendars. And it does it. It's a random pairing every 2 weeks. You can opt in or opt out. We don't force our employees to do this, but it allows people to not have to reach out and feel awkward saying, hey, I want to get to know you as a person. Let's go grab coffee. That can be very daunting, but it's a great way, especially for new employees who have remoted or who have onboarded remotely, to really connect with people that, again, they might not connect with otherwise. And I know Microsoft Teams has a similar one. I think it's called Coffee Pals. Donut is at this time only for Slack. It's also a very inexpensive tool. I think for up to 100 users, it's $99 per month. And one of the things that I hear constantly from my employees is, if we go back to the office, do we get to keep Donut? It's very, very popular. And it's something that if you as a company are struggling with keeping people connected or having people feeling isolated, I would have really encouraged people to look into. It's a great app. And the last tool that we're going to talk about specifically is 15.5. This is an engagement tool, specifically for engagement, performance, and goal setting. Very similar tool, includes Lattice. There's a couple other tools out there that do very similar things. We believe that having a tool specifically dedicated to employee engagement and to goal setting, objective setting, has been incredibly crucial during this time and moving forward. You no longer can do the in-office, like, hey, are you working on this? Are you doing that? It's a little bit more difficult. So in this remote space, giving opportunities for people to check in with their managers. There's a lot of different opportunities in this tool. One of the best things that we've seen is there's a check-in. Ideally, an employee spends 15 minutes once a week. They fill out a predetermined check-in. It asks them how they're doing. It asks them what goals they achieved this week or what their priorities for next week. And there's a general office survey, an office-wide survey that everybody gets. So it allows you to get a pulse on your employees and allows them to give their managers feedback as well. So it's a great opportunity for people to know what's going on with their teams. We were able to, during the pandemic, during the last 18 months, really see how people were doing. It gives you an opportunity to give that feedback in a way that only your manager sees, but you can still speak to that, especially if you're feeling isolated, you're having difficulties, it gives you a place to give that outlet. It also has an opportunity to track one-on-ones so that no matter what you're doing, your managers and your employees can add talking points to their one-on-one so things don't get forgotten. And you can set personal goals and company goals. So one of the best things that I would say in having a goal setting engagement tool like this, whether it be 15.5 or anything else, is allowing employees to see how their goals match up to company goals. One of the things that we know is that people are feeling like they want to continue working from home, but there's still a little bit of isolation. People are worried about not feeling connected to the company. So giving them the opportunity to say, here are my personal goals, and here's how they lead into the company goals is really meaningful. It allows them to see that the impact that they're making is having on the company and making sure that they feel connected. Again, all of these tools, all of what we've talked about today is about increasing connection for employees, especially in a remote space. People want to keep doing it, but there is a fear, there is an isolation, and using the tools that you already have in your toolbox, like your HRIS or your chat app, whatever that is, and maybe investing in some new tools is really going to be a meaningful way to keep people connected. And one of the things I always tell people, because this always comes up, is, well, I don't know if I want to bring employees in a fully remote space. We want to bring them back to the office. But micromanagement is not going to lead to anything good. It's the path to the dark side, right? We're all going to sit here and we can micromanage ourselves to death, but it's not going to make a difference. One of the things that we really consider is, how do you have engaged management? How do you keep people focused on engaging with their tools, the systems, their teams, without having managers having to sit there and micromanage every aspect of everybody's day? It's a very hard thing to do remote, but I've seen people do it. And one of the things that we've said is have regular one-on-ones. Managers want to check in on employees, but for whatever reason, they don't want to have a one-on-one. I recommend, especially in a remote space, that every manager have a regular one-on-one with their employee every week. Now, it could be 30 minutes, it can be less, and it should never be canceled by the manager. If an employee is uncomfortable canceling or saying that they don't want it to be canceled, and a manager does that, that's going to decrease trust with the employee. Make sure that no matter what, your people are holding one-on-ones, and that those one-on-ones, even if it's just 15 minutes to check in, have a meaningful impact for employees. It's really, really crucial when you're not there. Objectives and key results, OKRs, whatever tool you use to goal set. We personally use OKRs, but creating those measurable goals and giving employees tasks that will help them grow, right? Employees want to be engaged. They don't want to be micromanaged. The best way to do that is say, here's the long-term goal. Let's talk about how you get there, and then let them do it. Give them the reins to make that choice for themselves. Employees will step up and make those metrics. They will hit them if you give them the tools. Yes, you will have people that maybe don't, but that's an opportunity for coaching. It's an opportunity for growth. And remember that, you should be measuring metrics, especially in a remote work, especially when you have knowledge workers. You shouldn't be measuring if people's butts are in a seat. You should be measuring their output, measure the work and not the human. It's a really crucial part of keeping people engaged, is making sure that they don't feel like everything you're doing is to worry about them. You should be worried about what they're producing. I always use my recruiters as a great example. I don't care how long they worked. Well, I care. I don't want them to overwork themselves. But what I don't want to see is, oh, well, so-and-so worked 40 hours, but they didn't make any offers for 6 months. That's somebody who may have worked a lot, but they didn't have anything to show for it. I'd rather have a recruiter work for 30 hours, 35 hours, but if they make 6 offers, I know they're doing their job. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. What is the metric? What are you measuring? What output are they bringing to the company that's making an impact? Because if you have employees that are feeling impactful, you're going to have engaged employees, you're going to have a happier employee set, and you're going to retain that talent better. So we have one last question. This is not shared. This is purely for us. if you're interested in speaking to somebody from Tango Card regarding our reward link product that we talked about today, or how it integrates with other systems, please let us know. We're not going to share these poll results. This is fully for our teams to reach out if you're interested and provide a demo. All that being said, we have 9 minutes left. I think I see some questions in the Q&A, and so let's get to it.
All right. Excellent. Well, yeah, we did have some questions come in. So someone asked, how do you budget for the $10 gift cards? What would be your recommendation on how to set money aside specifically for that?
So we don't have a specific budget, but what I do recommend folks is to put aside an X amount per employee, right, per month or per year, whatever that looks like for you. Because again, you don't have to pay to do the tool, but if you're using it, I think we see an average of, I want to say it's $100 per person per month, which sounds like a lot. But when you think about things like office snacks or, space or all the little things that we do in the office, if you're kind of trying to offset that, that can be a really meaningful way. I recommend also, if you're unsure, give employees a budget. We don't particularly do that, but I have seen it work successfully in other places, where each employee gets, maybe it's $50 a month, and that's part of their pool to give to others, right? That's what you get to use as an employee. And that can really help people feel empowered to say, oh man, I have this $50 in $10 gift cards that I can give to my coworkers who go above and beyond for me. That's a great way to start, is finding what feels reasonable and assigning it per employee.
All right. This one says, our company hasn't finalized our return to work plan just yet. And what advice do you have for getting that leadership buy-in to allow for a continued hybrid work model even after this is over?
One of the things that I would really suggest that leadership is, there's been a disconnect, right? If you read the articles that are out there right now, employees are saying one thing and leaders are saying another. I would poll your employees, give them a way to give their feedback anonymously, right? Whether it's SurveyMonkey or whatever you have, to say, what do you want? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Because if you come to management with that survey data and it says 84% of our employees want to work from home and 58% of those will leave if we don't give them the opportunity, are you ready to make that choice? Give your employees the voice that, maybe they're afraid to bring to the table, and let that be the decision that the leaders have to make from knowing their employee base.
So I had a question over here about the reward link. It says, with reward link, are there any HR implications that companies need to keep in mind, such as dollar amount or something like that?
So dollar amount, not so much, but you do want to make sure that you are putting these on payroll for W-2 purposes. What we do is we actually pay the taxes on it for our employees. We do a gross up. With our payroll tool, it does the gross up calculation for us. We add it to payroll at the end of every year to ensure that those funds make it onto employee W-2s as income, because that's the biggest, most crucial impact, is making sure that it's getting there. We do it on I think it's a quarterly basis right now. We do a paycheck for everybody it's a $0 paycheck, but it has the income and the tax that we pay for as a company. But you could also put that piece on the employee as well, and just say, hey, you got X amount in gift cards this year. This is the tax implication for that. Just making sure it gets on the W-2, regardless of who pays the taxes on it. Okay,
good to know. How are you making the office safer for employees when you return to work? That's I think that common question that's out there right now.
So we have fully redesigned the way our office is spaced out. We had an open office layout before. And so we spaced our desks out, not quite fully 6 feet, but we're alternating desks because not everybody's interested in coming back. So every other desk is occupied, whereas every other desk is not. We're also saying that nobody has a permanent desk. Everything is a hot desk. So you have to reserve your space. And we reserve it through Google because that's what our calendar system is. It's a resource that you can book. And there is a responsibility that everybody has to clean their workstation at the end of that day. And because they've had to book it, we know exactly who is there. We're also setting up an iPad at reception for people to complete a health screen, just a personal attestation that they don't have any symptoms, that they're coming to work as healthy as they can. And we're also actually requiring vaccination for people in office if they have the opportunity to work from home. And that's our response is if you are not vaccinated and you can work from home, then you must continue to work from home. So anybody that's in our space must be vaccinated.
So, well, another question we had was, which of the HR tools have you seen the most employee engagement with? Which one's the lowest? And are there any additional tools that you'll be implementing in 2022?
So I would say Slack definitely has the most engagement. Slack is popping every single day, all the time. And we've created more and more groups for people to be engaged with. Donut has been more popular than I ever thought it was. I implemented it thinking that it would be something that, half our people used for fun. And it's probably the most popular Slack app. With regards to new apps, we haven't looked at anything just yet. One of the things we're actually doing is working on improving the apps that we currently use. So how can we integrate RG with other products? How can we continue integrations? And I will say, of course, our HRIS is probably the least engaged, right? Nobody likes to go in the HRIS unless they have something to do. And that's just, we all know it's true. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking. We have seen more engagement now that we have the appreciation tab open in there for people to put feedback in that live stream or that live feed. But realistically, that's probably the least used unless people need to go in there for something.
All right. This one was wondering, have you seen any numbers or have you done any assessments about the difference in money saved on office costs? Because I've seen different projections, and I'm sure you have too. So what are your thoughts around that?
We haven't done a full analysis, but as the person who was doing vendor management, we had a whole bunch of office snacks. We were spending about $4,000 on office snacks and beverages every month. Obviously, as people return, we're going to up those services again, not to that extent because there won't be that many people in the office. But what we did do is we kind of did a little bit of napkin math, if you will, and sent everybody a gift card for the amount of, I think it was $500 to say, hey, you're not in the office. Here is $500 to get your work from home station set up, to buy a nice new coffee maker or a desk fan or whatever it is that makes your job easier from home. Because that was the easy way to say, we have this funding. We want to give it back to the employees since it's for them in the first place. And so that's what we're going to continue to do as well, is working from home employees will continue to get a stipend. It won't be maybe quite that high, but to get what they need for their work from home station, whereas primarily in-office employees will have a different set of commuter benefits or something along those lines to make their lives easier coming into the office.
Excellent. All right. Well, I think that is all the questions that we have for right now. And I know we're coming right up on the half-hour mark. So, Rebecca, I want to thank you for joining us again. This was great.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Again, feel free to reach out to me. My email is here. You can find me on LinkedIn. If you have questions that come up later, I'm happy to answer. And I know Aisha, my marketing manager, is on the line if you are interested in a demo, and she will reach out if you've said yes. So thank you all so much for your time and attendance today, and we'll see you next time.
All right, everyone, you can use the agenda widget. It's got a link down there. It should be on the bottom right-hand side of your screen to navigate your way to the next session, or you can use the email we've been sending today. We should have all the links in it, or the link to the next session. So feel free to click on over there, and I will see you there. All right.